19 people on now. Still got 3 minutes. We'll start really chatting in the 3 minutes. Hey, everybody saying hey. To try and keep this down, because usually I go on and on forever. If you ask a question that I've already answered, I get it that people tune in live at all different times, so you didn't necessarily see when I had answered it, but that just keeps this going for so long. Not that I can't talk forever, because I certainly can, but to try and keep it going so we're not on here for a marathon. And I'm saying right now here from the beginning, my name is Jax West. I am not family. I am just a supporter, and I own Stephen Avery Project, and I talk to Stephen on occasion. So that's that. Going live tonight on our public page, the Stephen Avery Project, where y'all can post questions or comments or whatever, and we'll go through them. And I typically stay on until I'm able to answer everything, but there's been so much lately that I can't get to it all in a reasonable amount of time. I've penciled in 2 hours for this, so we'll go the 2 hours or earlier if, you know, it's a Friday night and people have better things to do than to be online and look at me and look at my nice little thing on my head, because I just took a shower and my hair is wet and I just threw it up. Also, sometimes if I don't get to the questions, it scrolls up and I don't see it. So don't think I'm ignoring you. Sometimes stuff disappears on me. Will says, what's the knowledge? I don't know what you're referring to. There's nothing new per se. We're just on here to talk. San, you were waiting to hear from me. If you messaged me, I didn't get it. Rebecca, is he out yet? No. Kathleen, oh good, Christy Lynn is here. Sorry, Christy Lynn will be answering your questions and stuff that double up and find you links and stuff. Kathleen won't be filing until December 20th, so he's not getting out anytime soon. Scrolling down. Tammy said, I just started watching the second part. Well, clear your weekend plans and binge it. Hello, everybody who's saying hello from around the world. Eric says, is Brendan's case closed or can they keep trying? It's not closed. The Supreme Court denied to hear the case, but there's something more that can be done. So, but I believe they're just staying in a holding pattern right now to see what Kathleen has and if that will help get Brendan a new trial. Emma, is Brendan Dassey in jail? I know that, you know, because we have the MAM gossip group, so a lot of gossip has been going around there, a bunch of stuff about Bobby. Nothing is confirmed. You know, all we know is people said that Bobby's Facebook has been deactivated. That's all we know right now. People have said he had, over the years, tried to commit suicide 5 times, that he's missing, that he's been arrested. We have not heard anything that's factual on any of that. So that is just people, you know, seeing something and running with it. So there's nothing for sure on Bobby at this point. Julianne says, is Curtis still a part of the Stephen Avery Project? No, he left 2 years ago. Sorry, these things are now starting to scroll really fast and I can't catch up with people. Donald, has he not a GoFundMe? That's one of the things that I wanted to discuss today. I talked to Stephen 2 days ago. And so Stephen said, and I made on Stephen Avery Project, the public page, there is a note. So you can always click in notes and that'll be an easy way to find it. I believe I also made a post for it and I pinned it to the top. So you can always refer to that. And that is telling you the only approved ways that you could donate money. And they are. There is a website that is selling Avery salvage items, hoodies, sweatshirts, things like that. The money from that will go right to help the salvage yard, which is very important to Stephen, that his dad and brothers get helped out because this case has killed this family business. So we have a link to where you can order merchandise from there. If you live out of the States, to get around the international fees that you get that really jack up the price, there's also the contact information on there where you can email the company or you can call them and make arrangements with them to order that. No GoFundMe. So there no GoFundMe exists that is approved of. If you see a GoFundMe, do not give them your money. So the things you can do is, if you want to give money to Dolores, you can, if you still have checks, you can write a check and you can mail it to Dolores Avery at the salvage yard. You can also send her a gift card, which we recommend. The best way to do that would be a Visa card. And I know you get whacked with a fee no matter where you get a Visa card, but then she can use it anywhere for anything. She could use it for medical bills. She could use it for prescriptions, food, whatever. So the Visa card is the best way to go about it, or a Walmart card. They do have a Walmart in the area that she can get pretty much anything she needs from the Walmart. So you can send a check or a gift card to Dolores. What else was there? There's Kathleen Zellner. You can go to Kathleen Zellner's website, and then you go into cases, and then you click on Stephen Avery, and that's where you can donate to help the cost of his legal fees. So you can send that there. Then we also have in that note how if you want to donate money to Stephen directly in prison to go into his commissary account, all the instructions are in there. I'm not going to go over all that here. You'll have to go to either the note or the pinned post that says helping Stephen, and all the information is there. So those are the only ways to help the family. Oh, and then also from Walmart, somebody has, you can order stuff at Walmart and have it delivered. And while that is nice and that's convenient for Dolores, since she's not mobile right now due to her recent medical procedure, that still has either her having to go somewhere to go get it, or then somebody else has to go get it. So the easiest way would be sending a gift card directly to the house, and Dolores can determine from there on what she wants, you know. So maybe at some point we'll get a list from things that Dolores would like. So then if you do want to do that Walmart thing, that way you know whatever you're sending her is truly something she wants. Because you have to make sure, like I spoke to Stephen's niece, Carla, yesterday. And the person who sent her items recently, like sent her Campbell's soup, chicken and stars, which is great, but it's high in sodium. And so Dolores can't have that. You know, and I know when I talked to Stephen, not this last time, but the time before, and I was asking how to help his mom, he said no sweets. He really doesn't want her to have, you know, a bunch of sugar. So that's why either send the gift card or then wait until hopefully we get a list of what she wants, you know, staple items that she knows she wants every week. So if people want to start sending that to her and stacking that up. So, okay. So, I was just told that Carla is also on here watching, and Carla is also commenting in here. Carla is Avery family. She is Stephen's niece. Her father is Chuck Avery, Stephen's father, or Stephen's father, Stephen's brother. So Carla is answering some of your questions for you on that stuff. And then, and also Carla is aware of where all the money can be donated and such. So, so there you go. If you want to, in your comments in there, if there's something you want to direct towards Carla, tag Carla Chase and she can answer you directly. Jessica says, I hope they make a part 3. Well, part 3 will depend on how well part 2 does. And I know this isn't supposed to be about ratings, but everything's about ratings. So there is a website called Rotten Tomatoes that rates TV shows and movies and whatnot. So go to the Rotten Tomatoes website and look up Making a Murderer 2 and give it a good rating. You know, so the more good ratings it gets, the better the odds that there'll be another part. Josh says, I only live an hour from where this went down and I'm afraid to even drive through. I get it, but I'm going to assume as long as your last name isn't Avery, you'll be okay. Or that you don't have a sticker on your car that says you support them, which every time I'm up there, I kind of go, ooh, because, you know, like I've got a Justice for Brendan sticker on my car and it's like, am I going to get in trouble here? But I risk it. I'm scrolling to find questions. Can they set up an Amazon registry? While that would be great, I don't know if maybe that's something Carla would want to talk to, but Dolores isn't online, you know, so that would be a pain to try for Dolores who, you know, doesn't do any. So same thing like with GoFundMe's or PayPal's, you know, these are simple folk. And while Barb lies when she says she didn't have internet, Dolores really isn't on the internet. So an Amazon wish list or any of that stuff just isn't going to do it. And then also with so many people taking advantage of the situation and having such a, there's just been such an issue about where money's going, who's doing what with the money. Everybody's trying to streamline this the best way possible so we know where the money is going from. So that's why also now even Carla says she won't do a GoFundMe anymore. You know, that nobody wants to be tied to a GoFundMe. It's too tricky. You know, so here's what we all came up with. You know, I told Stephen whatever it was that he wanted is what we would be doing, because Stephen Avery Project is a support page for Stephen. So Stephen has said that he's also going to talk to his brother Earl about setting up a bank account that you'd be able to donate straight to Stephen at. But Earl takes care of Dolores a lot, you know, and plus he's got the salvage yard to take care of too. So he hasn't gotten around to that yet. So as soon as I hear from Stephen or Earl that the bank account has been set up and how you guys could all send money to that directly, then we'll tell you. But again, I know I sound like a broken record, but we've got the note that you can go to. We've got the pinned post. If it's not in there, don't give your money to it. Okay. Tanya, we've already gone over this before. Bobby is missing. Nobody knows anything. That's just all rumor at this point. There's nothing that Bob, you know, so there's no proof that Bobby is missing. Bobby committed suicide in the past. Bobby's been arrested. None of that. That's just that telephone game. Somebody's hearing it and spreading. So Henrik says, I wish Kratz would get sent to jail for life. Something could end up happening there, one thing at a time. Kathleen, all she cares about right now is getting Stephen out of prison and getting him a new trial and him declared innocent. Then they'll look at everybody who put him there and what they can do to that. So there you go. Carla just answered. He's not missing. Bobby is not missing. He deactivated his account due to all the threats. People are messaging and calling both Bobby and Scott and threatening them. Now, while I personally think Bobby and Scott are guilty, I don't think messaging them threats really accomplishes anything. And it's not me, and please don't think I'm trying to stand up for them, because I'm not. It's just like, do you want the guilters to be messaging Dolores? You know what I mean? So look at it from the other side. So, and let Kathleen do what Kathleen's going to do. But when I talked to Stephen the other day, I told him that Stephen Avery Project, a lot of people believe Scott and Bobby did it, and, nasty things are being said. He's fine with that. So you can say whatever it is that you want to say about Bobby and Scott. That's, because Stephen, as Stephen always says, he's just going where the evidence leads. And even if that leads to family, that's where the evidence goes. Greg, sell the salvage yard, sorry. Well, I'm sure Carla will talk on that, but it's the family business since the 60s. So they don't want to sell their family business, so there you go on that. What's the best way to keep up with everything KZ is doing since Making a Murderer? Well, here on Stephen Avery Project, we will update you on everything. You'll get it all here. Anytime Kathleen files, we post it immediately. So the Stephen Avery Project public page is where we keep it typically just about the case. We don't get into any of the other drama around it. We give you the case, we give you links to articles, we give you where you can donate, and then we have another group called MAM Gossip, and that's where we get more into the nitty-gritty and that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of people who follow the case who typically are people who, they haven't researched the case. They don't know every teeny tiny little detail like a lot of us do. And so there's a lot of discussion about every minute detail, and there's a lot of people who don't want that and get aggravated. They don't want to hear that stuff. So that's what MAM Gossip's for. Zan is asking Carla if you can send Visa cards. Yes. Gosh, I'm sorry, people. These things are scrolling so fast that it is hard to read them. So it's hard for me to get one that I can read and comment on. But that's why, you also have Carla that's on here that you can be asking questions to. And then Christy Lynn. You can tag Christy Lynn in something because she's really knowledgeable and she will help you with answers. You can also tag Stephen Avery Project because there's a couple of the moderators that are on here right now and they can help and answer things as well. Deborah says, why would you threaten anyone? Doesn't matter what you think. If they're innocent, you could push them over the edge. Sharon says, I love Dolores. She is a good mom. Something from watching the second season, I sent, or I gave to, I might have given it to Carla actually, when I went up to the salvage yard early on when Making Murder first came out and all that. And so, I wanted to give something to Dolores, because I too, it's like, oh, Dolores, has had this horrible thing happen to her. So I got her a purple pair of sweatpants because when you see Making a Murderer Part 1, every time you see Dolores, she's like in purple sweatpants. So I'm like, she must like purple sweatpants. So I got a pair of purple sweatpants and I got this little flower thing in a flower pot where you put it in the sun, and so as the sun hits it, the flower petals go up and down and stuff on the flower. And then it says something about being a good mom. And so when you see Dolores talking in the kitchen on the windowsill there, you see that flower the whole time. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. She does have it. Okay, Sam says a family business is just that, a family business. It supports 3 or more families. If they didn't have that, how would they support themselves? Right. So, Michelle says if Barb did that to her own brother and knows more than what she says, that is so wrong. Blood before any man, and Scott is no man. Here's what I've said this about Barb before. My opinion on Barb is I don't think she knew what Bobby and Scotty. See, now I'm reversing them. Bobby and Scott did. I truly don't. I think she didn't know throughout the whole trial of Brendan. I don't think she knew. But she might have suspected something, but just chooses not to know. And that there's just got to be more and more that she has to be suspicious of and have an idea of. Maybe she's just living in denial. I don't know. Or then there's the part of me that thinks, okay, maybe she did find out afterwards. Okay, not, that she wasn't a part of trying to frame them. And then she thought that, well, I would think law enforcement led her to also believe that Brendan would be tried as a juvenile, and being 16 years old, he'd be out in 2 years. So she thought that would be the best case scenario as opposed to Bobby, who was 18. And what would he get? So I don't think Barb is as involved as some people may, but still she has to, look at all this evidence. She has to know. So that's, I know Brendan and Bobby are both her sons, but one was looking up disgusting child porn and murdered